GettyTony Blair will speak in Brussels on Friday. Mr Johnson believes the efforts of the former Labour leader have been organised to cast a Remoaner shadow over Theresa May's Brexit speech that will set out the vision of the Tory party on the same day. The ally of the Foreign Secretary said, "The ultra-Remainers are determined to do everything in their power to stop the democratic will of the people who voted to leave. The Irish border issue is being used as a proxy war to stop Brexit." Tony Blair will speak in Brussels on Friday as part of a desperate plot to convince European Union leaders to help stop the UK's quest to reclaim its independence. Yesterday, Michel Barnier stated that he was not trying to create any shockwaves, as the bitter bloc set out its 120-page draft Brexit treaty that revealed its plan to keep Northern Ireland aligned with Europe. After being asked if the bloc was risking toppling the government by meddling with the constitutional affairs of the UK, Mr Barnier immediately went on the defensive. He replied, "I am familiar with the British political situation and I respect that. We're not here to give lessons to anybody. We have complicated political situations in the 28 member states of the European Union. I am not trying to provoke. I'm not trying to create any shockwaves. I want these negotiations to be a success. But it is my responsibility to recall that it is the UK which decided unilaterally to leave the EU on the basis on the outcome of a referendum. The UK, through a letter from Theresa May, initiated these negotiations in March. The UK established a date for leaving the Union 2 years after that letter and were 13 months off that date. I'm not trying to provoke anybody here. Contrary to what I read, there is no arrogance here. I'm not being arrogant in any way. I have immense respect for the UK, for its history, culture, and leaders. I've said from the outset that I regret this decision to leave the EU." Later, former Prime Minister and Conservative Party leader Sir John Major attempted to impose his Remain rhetoric on Theresa May, after insisting that she throws away her red lines of ensuring the UK leaves the single market and customs union. A letter emerged from Boris Johnson to the Prime Minister earlier this week that stated the main challenge of the government was to stop this border becoming significantly harder in Northern Ireland. The Foreign Secretary since claimed the letter surrounding the border was being used politically. He claimed that even if a hard border was introduced, he expected to see 95% or more of goods pass the border without checks. The Foreign Secretary since claimed the letter was being used politically as part of a Remainer effort to keep the UK in the single market and customs union. He remarked, "What the letter says is that actually there are very good solutions that would prevent any kind of hard border." GettyTony Blair's speech on Friday will surely attempt to brainwash Leave voters. "We can do this. We can come out of the customs union whilst solving the Northern Ireland border problem, and we mustn't allow this great inverted pyramid of objections to be built over this fundamental problem, which I think is eminently solvable. I think that the particular problems around the Irish border are being used politically to drive the whole Brexit argument and effectively to try to frustrate Brexit. I think there are better ways forward. I'll put it online myself. How about that? I don't have it now, but we'll certainly do that."